Tonight on CTV News, travel turbulence.
We may have to rent a car and come back. Hopefully I can just get my flight changed.
Air Canada announces it will begin shutting down flights after unionized flight attendants issue 72-hour strike notice. Could there be a last-minute deal? Also tonight.
If it comes down to it, if we gotta go, we gotta go.
Getting ready to go. A fast-moving wildfire continues to burn out of control on Vancouver Island, triggering a state of emergency and unfilled shifts. BC health authorities quietly crack down on overtime and staff pay in hospitals, what it means for patient safety and the well-being of staff.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Canada's largest airline appears to be headed towards a major disruption. The union representing Air Canada's flight attendants has issued strike notice. That would take effect Friday night. And to prepare for a work stoppage, the airline will begin canceling flights tomorrow. CTV's Sinjin Alexander is live at YVR. Sinj, more cancellations are expected to follow?
Yeah, I wish I had better news, Nafisa, but here's what we know. The flights will begin to be canceled tomorrow, more on Friday, and then on Saturday, all of the planes will be grounded, unless, of course, they reach a deal. And it's not looking that great right now. Once again, it's passengers who are caught in the middle, suddenly warned their flight might be canceled, none really sure what to do, what might be coming next.
I'm a little nervous because I've planned this trip for a long time.
Hopefully I can just get my flight changed or switch my airline.
After midnight Wednesday, the union issued 72-hour strike notice. Half an hour later, Air Canada fired back, saying it now planned to lock employees out. Quite simply, they're far apart on money.
Air Canada hasn't come to the table. I mean, the bottom line is what they have brought is not enough.
We would strongly encourage both sides to obviously end this dispute as quickly as possible and to do that in advance of any actual labor action having to take place.
And yet the impact has already begun. To ensure aircraft is not stranded, gradually flights will begin to be canceled on Thursday. And unless a deal is reached, the airline will ground all Air Canada and all Air Canada Rouge planes by Saturday.
Well, we may have to rent a car and come back.
I don't want to cancel the existing flight because things may work out.
Passengers traveling over the weekend and into Monday are being allowed to change flights for free if only they could get online.
It's not letting me through. I called Air Canada. It's been 3 hours. I'm on hold.
If they don't resolve it, Air Canada is going to lose a lot of money.
And if they don't resolve it, caught in the middle are 130,000 passengers a day. And a couple notes here, Nafisa, as well. Air Canada Express, it is not affected. Air Canada, the airline, has asked for arbitration, but so far, anyway, the government is staying out of it, hoping, as everyone is, that they have a deal by Friday. Nafisa.
Thank you, Sinjin. Now to the wildfire burning near Port Alberni. The Vancouver Island city of some 20,000 people has declared a state of emergency. The fast-growing Mount Underwood fire is swelling in size, and some neighborhoods are now being told to be ready to evacuate at a moment's notice. CTV's Dimitra Maragos is tracking this developing story.
The sounds of fire season aren't just flames. It's also the sound of boxes worth of memories.
We have our fingers crossed.
Hans Wozniak says fire crews came to his Port Alberni neighborhood Tuesday night as the Mount Underwood fire continues to spread.
Once we had the evacuation notice, then all of a sudden it's okay.
So it has grown since the update.
The BC Wildfire Service says the fire has grown significantly in the last 24 hours and is more than 2,100 hectares.
The terrain that they're working in is incredibly challenging and is also continuing to drive fire growth upslope.
They added, it's not just the terrain that's making this fire an uphill battle.
The winds, the drought, and the dry conditions, the ongoing dry conditions, along with the elevated temperatures, have been the primary drivers of fire behavior.
Crews are seeing the most growth and activity on the east flank furthest from Port Alberni, but they are focusing efforts to create a fuel-free hand line on the northwest flank, which is closest to town.
The community of Port Alberni is not currently threatened by this wildfire.
With rain ahead, officials say it will help.
It'll certainly reduce fire behavior significantly in the short term.
However, due to drought conditions on the island,
it would take a significant amount of rain over a longer period to really penetrate the ground.
We want to acknowledge is the people that are out there risking their lives every single day for all of us.
More than 60 ground crews are working on this fire. Elected Chief Ken Watts from the Seychat First Nation says they're grateful.
We have all the faith in the world that the people that are out there fighting the fire are doing the best that they can.
Armar says the Wesley Ridge and Mount Underwood fires are a reminder to all.
Like I would say to every British Columbian, you don't need to be on alert to have a go bag ready.
But Wozniak says regardless, he's ready to go.
If it comes down to it, if we gotta go, we gotta go, that's all.
Dimitri Marigo, CTV News, Vancouver.
People living in a rural corner of Maple Ridge were jolted awake overnight. Neighbors report hearing shots and speeding cars between midnight and 2 a.m. The gunfire leaving one man dead. Here's CTV's Ben Milger.
Police say they found an unresponsive man in this bullet-ridden Honda sedan after responding to reports of gunshots. The car was parked at a gas station at 240th Street and Dudney Trunk Road. Neighbors say they heard gunshots and speeding cars twice, about an hour apart.
The first one was a pop, 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 kind of in state of 5, and then this one was pop, pop, pop. It was 1, then 1, 1. It was really quick, one right after the other for the second.
It was after the second round of gunshots that police arrived and found the victim. He did not survive. After towing the sedan from the gas station, homicide investigators turned their attention to the rural road where the shooting appears to have started. Detectives focused on a property at the end of the block. People living on the street did not want to speak on camera, but say they're shaken by the violence.
Anytime there is a shooting or a homicide in our community, we take those things very seriously. From an IHIP perspective, we are going to be advancing this investigation moving forward to find those people who are responsible.
Beyond confirming he is a man, police have not released any other details about the victim. They won't say if they believe the shooting was targeted or connected to drugs or a gang conflict. RCMP urge anyone with information about what happened to contact investigators, who are also seeking CCTV footage and dashcam video from the area. Ben Milger, CTV News, Maple Ridge.
A Coquitlam man is facing upgraded charges after a deadly assault earlier this month. RCMP were called to that assault with a weapon in the 400 block of Midvale Street just after 6 a.m. on August 1st. Officers found a man with serious injuries. He later died in hospital. Homicide investigators say 59-year-old Stephen Mostel, who was known to the victim, was initially charged with aggravated assault, but that has now been upgraded to second-degree murder. Anyone with information is asked to come forward. There is a renewed push calling on the NDP government to cancel a multi-billion-dollar contract between BC Ferries and a Chinese shipyard. The opposition says the deal needs to be scrapped after China's latest tariffs on Canada. CTV's Rob Buffum has the details.
BC Ferries' decision to pay a Chinese state-run company $1 billion to build 4 new vessels is hitting more choppy waters after China imposed 75% tariffs on Canadian canola seed Tuesday.
It infuriates me to think that we are rewarding China and Chinese workers at the same time while they're punishing British Columbia and Canadian workers. David Eby needs to cancel this contract to have these ferries built in China.
The Ferry Workers Union, about 5,000 employees strong, agrees, noting while BC Ferries has pledged maintenance and repairs of the ships will happen in Canada, the parts for those repairs might not.
We see delays in supply chains we don't control. So if we're ordering parts from Germany, Romania, Poland, there can be delays, or there have been delays waiting for parts or specialist teams to come from overseas.
BC Ferries says no Canadian companies bid on the contract. The Fed's low-interest loan to fund the deal is saving taxpayers money, and the new ships are needed urgently. The province says it will push for future contracts in BC and the jobs that will bring to domestic shipyards. But the new vessels are needed as soon as possible.
We need boats now. We need assurances that when we're heading to the Lower Mainland, when we're heading to the islands of British Columbia, that we want to be able to get there and not worry about a propeller falling off.
Still, the fact that $1 billion and hundreds of jobs are going to a trade war opponent that just slapped additional tariffs on Canada isn't sitting well with the opposition or those that will work on the new ships starting in 2029.
Well, Rob joins us live now from Victoria. Rob, a federal transport committee met earlier this month to sort out how this deal even happened. So what is the next step in that process?
That's a good question, Nafisa. That transport committee ordered that by August 28th, the federal government, the provincial government, the Canadian Infrastructure Bank that loaned the $1 billion, as well as BC Ferries, must all produce emails and texts related to how this deal went down. So in just over 2 weeks, we may find some illuminating and potentially embarrassing messages about this deal. Nafisa.
Our Legislative Bureau Chief Rob Buffum live in Victoria. Thank you, Rob. The province's two biggest health authorities are quietly cutting costs by cracking down on overtime and other discretionary staffing costs. Frontline workers are alarmed and warn the move could impact patient care, but administrators insist it's in everyone's best interest. CTV's Penny Daflos reports the move comes amid large-scale belt tightening.
Nothing can substitute hands-on healthcare. Now British Columbia's frontline healthcare workers are worried about a crackdown on overtime pay and premiums paid to staff who agreed to work last minute. Both Fraser Health and Vancouver Coastal Health have confirmed the moves are motivated by budgetary concerns, clearly voiced by the minister.
Cost management measures and extending every dollar as far as it possibly can go.
Fraser Health CEO is trying to portray it as a benefit to workers, writing, while overtime is an important and useful tool when used appropriately to ensure appropriate staffing to provide care, it is not a sustainable way of working and does not support staff wellness. Vancouver Coastal Health confirmed there are now hurdles to bringing in more staff, writing, when approved overtime is required, there are appropriate steps in place for leaders to authorize overtime as needed to ensure the delivery of safe, quality care to patients and clients. Speaking anonymously for fear of retaliation, healthcare workers tell CTV News that emergency departments and the ICU are critical areas that can't function long-term when short-staffed. But budgetary concerns are pressuring the brass, who are even laying off administrators. Island Health has laid off at least 117 managers and executives, while the Provincial Health Services Authority has axed 118. Every health authority is scaling back non-union positions. The provincial government has been clear with a deficit budget followed by the elimination of the carbon tax and battle over U.S. tariffs.
We are in very challenging economic times. There's just no two ways about it.
All health authorities across BC insist frontline staff aren't being targeted for layoffs and that they're focused on non-critical positions. But reducing incentives to pick up shifts means fewer nurses caring for just as many people, which isn't sustainable for the caregiver nor the patient. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Could the water in Kit's Pool be kept warm by the heat generated by Bitcoin mining? That idea is on the agenda at a cryptocurrency conference being held this weekend, a conference that Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim will be speaking at. Here's CTV's Isabella Zavarisi.
From podcasts,
I got orange pilled,
to crypto summits, Mayor Ken Sim has been busy talking Bitcoin since his motion passed last December, asking staff to make Vancouver a Bitcoin-friendly city.
Similar to dismissing the park board, these seems to be priorities of the mayors that are disconnected from what I think the people of Vancouver are looking for in leadership, and that's not crypto investments.
This weekend, Sim will be speaking at Learning Bitcoin at the Vancouver Convention Centre. One of the panels is called Heating Kitsilano Pool with Bitcoin Mining, an idea by a group called Kit's Pool Swimmers.
We want to see the pool open throughout the season, and we want to see the pool maintain its length during the upcoming rebuild. But what we see is that there's a huge financial problem.
A problem the group believes could be solved through crypto.
It's going to be loud.
This Burnaby-based company specializes in recovering heat from Bitcoin mining through digital boilers. CEO Colin Sullivan says the technology generates Bitcoins and could change the future of the pool.
The benefit of the city is you have an opportunity to run the system 24/7, 365, and not only not have that be a cost, but have that be a profit center to heat it as well.
One UBC economist disagrees.
That actually has very little societal benefit. So when we are looking at Bitcoin mining and a digital boiler, I think it's fair to say we're looking at a little bit of greenwashing here.
The mayor's office says his focus remains on the priorities that matter most to Vancouverites, making our city safer, building more housing faster, and making life more affordable for all residents. Staff are expected to report back to council on his motion in the fall. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
A BC-based conservation group has launched a global campaign urging the province to end its decade-long wolf cull.
We are raising awareness about wolves in BC in front of the BC legislature and the plight of wolves in BC. But we also have billboards that are across Europe for International Wolf Day.
Pacific Wild invited people to the lawn of the legislature to pen letters to the premier and watch a screening of their short film, Brutal, British Columbia. It's about their recent one-day pop-up souvenir shop in Victoria that sold items like blood-stained tote bags and plush toys. The group is pushing for an end to the wolf cull program BC launched in 2019 to protect caribou. After the break, what it takes to thwart cyber attacks.
We're on the dark web every day. We're threat hunting. We're creating those protections.
We'll take you inside a Burnaby-based threat intelligence team tasked with tracking and neutralizing over 1 trillion global cyber attacks a day. When CTV News continues, stay with us. Welcome back. With cybercrime drastically on the rise, the work to combat digital crime is more crucial than ever. Today, CTV News got a behind-the-scenes look at the operations of one of the world's top cybersecurity companies. CTV's Ben Nesbitt has more.
Day in and day out, the employees at Fortinet's Burnaby campus are on the prowl, seeking out the latest cyber attacks, which the company says are becoming more and more sophisticated.
We're on the dark web every day. We're threat hunting. We're creating those protections.
Derek Mankey is the company's chief security strategist. He says through the first half of 2025, it detected 12 billion cyber attacks in Canada alone.
What's driving this is a rise in crime services, so called crime as a service, where it's turnkey service offerings on the dark web for cyber criminals to use. It's making them faster, it's making them more sophisticated.
Mankey says manufacturing companies have been the top target for ransom attacks in Canada. If the hackers can disrupt their revenue stream, it means potentially higher payouts. While healthcare and critical infrastructures, which Mankey says were at one time a moral boundary that even criminals wouldn't cross, have become major targets.
They have affiliates that work for them, and it's a numbers game, right? When you have more affiliates working from you, everyone has a different mentality, and the ethics start to go out the window because it becomes more competitive as well.
With the demand for cybersecurity growing every year, it's putting more strain on analysts. But Mankey says the evolution of artificial intelligence has helped level the playing field.
It's avoiding the analyst burnout, and it's allowing security analysts and cybersecurity professionals to become excited again, right? To get new skill sets, to embrace the technology.
With cybercrime now believed to be costing businesses around the world $10.5 trillion annually, those fighting it will need all the help they can get. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Burnaby.
And what a difference a day makes. Those heat warnings are gone.
That's right, but still pretty warm out there. The clouds have rolled in as promised. We are still seeing warm temperatures above seasonal for this time of year. Here's a look at temperatures across the lower mainland. Right now, we are sitting at 24 at the harbor as well as in Burnaby, 25 degrees in North Vancouver, Pitt Meadows, and Chilliwack. You're looking at 26 degrees right now in Surrey. So as we head through the overnight, we'll see overcast skies, 15 degrees into tomorrow. Transition day. It'll be cloudy skies, cool 21 degrees, and the rain returns late tomorrow night. I've got those details coming up.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
It's been a while, so do you know where your umbrella is?
I do. I have 2.
Okay, perfect. Well, dust them off if you don't, because rain is on the way for Friday. Those details and the full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Ann. Well, after the break, Canadian teens targeted by an extremist organization.
It is a combination of neo-Nazism, Satanism, and self-harm.
How the group recruits young people using apps and games, and one mother's disturbing account of how her teenage girl was lured in. We'll be right back. An Alberta mother is warning other parents tonight about a terrifying online extremist network that targeted her teenage daughter. The group, known as 764, lures vulnerable youth through seemingly innocent video game platforms to manipulate and exploit them in horrific ways. And a warning, some of the details in the story are disturbing. CTV's Terry Fikowski has more.
This quiet rural community is the last place you'd expect a child to be targeted by a violent international extremist network, but that's the living nightmare unfolding for the mother of a 14-year-old girl in small-town central Alberta. CTV is not identifying her or the family's location for their safety.
She locks herself in her room. She doesn't want to associate with anyone in the home.
Her daughter struggled with her mental health for years, but things escalated to a frightening tipping point roughly a year ago.
She'd written on her wall in blood. She had cut herself here and carved on her legs.
She also discovered disturbing sexually exploitive pictures and conversations on her phone with a member of 764, an ideologically motivated child exploitation enterprise formed in 2021, named after the founder's zip code in Texas. The founder of the group, who was just 15 at the time, is now serving an 80-year prison sentence, and the FBI has charged other alleged leaders. A few teens have been charged here in Canada, but the RCMP says 764 operates under a number of different aliases, making it hard to pin down and remains a serious threat.
It is a combination of neo-Nazism, Satanism, and self-harm. They also call it accelerationism, which means basically trying to get to the point where it's anarchy.
Members use encrypted platforms like the instant messaging service Discord. They also use popular online games Roblox and Minecraft to recruit youth.
The most disturbing stuff that you can imagine. Not only are they getting kids to self-harm, but they're also convincing their kids to, kill and mutilate animals, family pets, abuse siblings.
She's told me she'll stab me in my sleep.
Desperate to protect her family, this mother took away her daughter's phone and devices, only to learn she was still accessing the platforms at school, and says seeking support from the school board, healthcare system, and police has been an exhausting uphill battle.
She doesn't think I care, but I'm doing this all because I love her.
Nobody has been charged, but she's not giving up. Terry Fikowski, CTV News in Central Alberta.
A church leader in Calgary is facing voyeurism charges after police say he recorded intimate photos and videos of women he invited to stay in his home without their consent. 68-year-old Brad Dewar is accused of recording 1,500 photos and at least 19 videos of at least 3 women over the span of a decade. Investigators began looking into the allegations against him last November and seized multiple electronic devices after searching his home. Advocates for sexual assault victims say it is all too common to see people in positions of trust abuse their powers.
It's a really sad state of affairs, but this is something that we see quite often, that it's someone who seems like they're doing something very helpful for someone else, and then they take advantage and then do these types of very exploitive and very degrading acts, really, to get these images.
You guys do things.
Dewar has been charged with 3 counts of voyeurism and is due in court next month. After the break, look up.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's not a meteor.
Batman signal.
Yeah, it's not a meteor and it's not Batman. So what is this mysterious object in the sky that perplexed people in Ontario? That story when we return.
This is my brand new album.
We got TS12, baby.
This
Some breaking news for Swifties. Taylor Swift's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, is set to be released October 3rd. The pop icon just unveiled the album cover on boyfriend Travis Kelce's New Heights podcast. She also shared the track list with 12 songs, including one called The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter. No word yet on when the first single will drop. The summer's hottest toy is also a hot target for thieves. Police in Southern California have recovered around $30,000 worth of Labubus. They were stolen from a warehouse, and police say the thieves were planning to resell them. Earlier this week, $7,000 worth of the toothy plush monsters were stolen from a store in L.A. The Labubu doll craze has led to a wave of cheap copycats dubbed Lafufus. Officials in the UK say they've seized thousands of these fake toys, warning they pose a serious choking hazard to young kids and may contain toxic substances. Skygazers in southern Ontario were left puzzled and a little starstruck last night after spotting something unusual lighting up the sky. CTV's Scott Lightfoot reports the bizarre sight has sparked a flurry of speculation.
On a night when many were looking up, hoping to catch the Perseid meteor shower.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Residents across parts of Canada and the U.S. saw something else.
All of a sudden, literally out of nowhere, came this puffy, kind of looked like a bow tie with really pretty ends to it.
But no one seemed sure of just exactly what they were looking at.
I'm 68 years old, and I've looked at the sky for many years, and I've never ever seen anything that came close to what this was.
Jim Walsh captured this video from outside his cottage near Ottawa. He thought he heard raccoons in the trash, but when he went outside, what he saw was something he couldn't explain, and he wasn't the only one.
Right over there, I could see the Big Dipper in the background, actually.
The cell phone videos and photos don't do it justice, according to those who saw it with their own eyes.
Looked like a kind of a bright light in the middle, with wispy cloud-like things coming, almost look like wings, coming off both ends of it. We've got two grandsons here. One of them lost a tooth yesterday, and they're convinced it was a tooth fairy leaving with one of their teeth.
It was a fairy of sorts, according to those who watch the sky for a living.
It is just a rocket that's falling back to Earth. Standard rocket procedure.
Allumage de GSR et décollage. Parts of this rocket launched last evening from French Guiana, ferrying a European weather satellite into polar orbit.
And even though it was nighttime for us here on the ground, because the rocket was so high up at 800 kilometers and far enough east, it was still being lit by the sun.
When it's falling back to Earth over the Atlantic Ocean, it's still slightly burning, and so you see that plume from the fuel, from the exhaust that's coming as it's sort of fizzling out and falling back to Earth, and it looks wild.
A wild few minutes for stargazers who thought they might see a meteor and ended up seeing what was, at least for the moment, an unidentified flying object. Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
A medieval castle keep in England is open to the public once again after 5 years and a $51 million makeover. Norwich Castle is one of Europe's most iconic Norman fortresses and fully reopened today. The restoration project has reimagined the 900-year-old castle, allowing visitors to explore all 5 floors for the first time. A new gallery of medieval life includes more than 900 artifacts covering the Norman conquest, the Tudor dynasty, and the reign of King Henry VIII. I wonder if they have a grail-shaped beacon. Well, this home is a bit more modest and a lot more affordable. A house has been listed in a small town near Buffalo, New York for just $1. The 1,100 square foot, 3-bed, 1-bath home went live last week and has already been viewed more than 20,000 times online. Several offers have already come in, but it is expected to sell for as much as similar homes in the area. Still ahead, gone in a flash.
It happened so fast, actually. I just could not believe myself.
Thieves making off with expensive heirloom jewelry. How they distract their targets and take off before their victims even realize they've been robbed. Plus, you might coo at these shaggy guys who moo. We'll introduce you to a pair of Highland cows that are the talk of Hogtown. Plus, Anne's full forecast is coming up. We'll be right back. closer look at the markets. The Canadian dollar is up 4/100ths, trading for 72.64 cents to the American dollar. Oil lost 52 cents, closing on the day at $62.65 US a barrel. Gold gained nearly $10. TSX is up 72 points on the day, while the Dow Jones is up 463 points. New talks are scheduled between Canada Post and the union representing roughly 55,000 postal workers. Both sides will return to the bargaining table on Friday with the help of federal mediators. In a statement, Canada Post says it will hear the union's response to the corporation's best and final offers presented in May. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers rejected that offer last week on the final day to vote. Both sides have been at odds for more than a year and a half. The Toronto Zoo is welcoming its newest additions, a pair of bovine brothers. These 9-month-old Highland cows are set to make their public debut this weekend, but some zoo members got a sneak peek today. Now, the brothers don't have names yet, and they come to the zoo from elsewhere in Ontario, although their lineage can be traced back to Scotland's Highlands. In a zoo setting, their average lifespan is between 10 and 15 years.
The intention behind them is our outreach and discovery team will be working with them each and every day to go through various positive reinforcement training to get them acclimated to potentially walking around the zoo eventually.
Ahead of their public debut, these brothers have already won over zoo members who described the cows as adorable, kind, and cool during today's sneak peek. So, Anne, they don't have names yet, so I am pitching Shaggy and Scooby.
Ah, very nice. I like it. Yeah. I think it totally works. That'd be great. They do need a bang trim, though.
Nah.
Because I don't think they can see what they're doing. But very adorable for all the zoo goers. I hope they get named soon. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. It is still warm out there, but definitely cloudier than what we've seen. Smoke coming in from Vancouver Island. We have a special air quality statement in place for inland and parts of East Vancouver Island, as well as the Sunshine Coast. So it's very smoky out there, and make sure you close your windows, and if you do have respiratory problems, just to stay indoors. We do have a low offshore that'll bring in some wet weather for Haida Gwaii, as well as parts of the North Coast and Central Coast heading through tomorrow, bringing in more cloud coverage for us on the South Coast. Here's a look at our weather tracker right now. It'll be a soggy start to your morning for Haida Gwaii. It's not in the afternoon that we see rain for the North Coast, Central Coast, as well as the northern tip of Vancouver Island. It's not until late tomorrow night that pretty much all of Vancouver Island and Metro Vancouver will see that rain. It'll be very soggy on Friday as well. Chance of afternoon thunder showers for Cranbrook tomorrow. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Heavy rain for Port Hardy, 16 degrees tomorrow, 22s under a mix of sun and cloud for Campbell River and Comox. For the South Island, overcast skies tomorrow and 15 degrees. You'll see partly cloudy skies from Port Alberni right down to Victoria, with temperatures between 19 and 23 degrees. 23s as well for the Sunshine Coast with some sunny breaks. Mostly cloudy skies up the Sea to Sky Highway for Whistler and Squamish. And for us across the Lower Mainland, transition day under overcast skies. Temperatures in the low 20s between 21 and 23 degrees. Rain late tomorrow night, continuing into Friday. It will be a soaker, cooling down to 19 degrees. Slight chance of early morning showers on Saturday before clearing out of the way. Mix of sun and cloud, and 21 on Sunday. Clouding over once again on Monday, heading into Tuesday and Wednesday. Back to seasonal temperatures under a mix of sun and cloud. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. And we're hoping the rain will definitely help in the wildfire situation.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thanks, Anne. Well, distraction thefts are when criminals use diversions to steal valuables, such as your wallet or cell phone. But it's often expensive jewelry they're after. An Ontario man was approached in a parking lot and had a gold chain worth thousands of dollars stolen from around his neck. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
Did they give you both of these items?
They just give it to me. You know, I'm giving it free, actually.
VJ Vic Rant of Mississauga says it was last month when he was parked outside a grocery store. A woman approached him and said she was celebrating a birthday by handing out free jewelry. She put a gold-colored chain around his neck.
She did like this. And, you know, close the hook.
Moments later, she was gone, and he realized she had removed his gold chain, which was worth thousands of dollars and had sentimental value.
This chain itself is about 60 to 70 years old. I inherited it from my father.
What he received was made of cheap plastic that looked like it came from a dollar store.
It happened so fast, actually. I just could not believe myself.
Woman gets back into the vehicle. The lady looks down, realizes the bangles from her wrist have been removed, and she has this essentially junk jewelry left behind.
York Regional Police laid charges in a case where a 78-year-old woman received serious injuries. After her jewelry was taken, there was a brief struggle and she was knocked to the ground. Radu Oracel, 35 years old, is a foreign national. He was charged with robbery, theft with violence, and dangerous operation of a vehicle. Police say many distraction thefts appear to be part of a network of organized criminals in Canada illegally practicing criminal tourism.
They're just here to commit their crimes. Unfortunately, a lot of the ones that we arrest are not Canadian citizens. They have not arrived here lawfully.
Police say as well as parking lots, distraction thefts are also happening at post office boxes. And in Ottawa last week, 90-year-old Terry Thompson had her ring stolen outside a retirement home.
She was gone in about a second.
Vikrant had planned to hand down his gold chain to his son, something he's no longer able to do.
I really feel very, very bad. Be very careful. Somebody tries to give you something.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Still to come tonight, we'll hit the links and catch up with one of the pros who appears in the Happy Gilmore sequel. Plus, Tony's triumph. Adam finds out what happened after a woman in her 80s attempted to face a lifelong fear of heights on a zip line. Next on the Sawatsky sign-off. Right now, here's a preview of CTV Morning Live.
What's more common than you think? 40% of Canadian women by the age of 50 will experience some form of hair loss. Thursday on CTV Morning Live, we'll learn more about alopecia from a woman living with it and the support that's out there as we mark Hair Loss Awareness Month. Also, BC Lions kicker and White Rock native Shaun White joins us with what fans can expect as the team takes on the Alouettes at home this weekend. We'll see you in the morning.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
The breakout song from the movie K-pop Demon Hunters has reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's the first K-pop song by female singers to take the top spot on the Hot 100. K-pop Demon Hunters has become Netflix's most watched animated movie since its release in June. A special sing-along version is coming to theaters in Metro Vancouver on August 23rd and 24th, and tickets went live today. Well, golf has certainly benefited from Adam Sandler's latest movie, Happy Gilmore 2. It is full of celebrity cameos, including a few of the players from the PGA Champions Tour. And, well, one of them is now speaking out about his experience on set. CTV's Glenn Campbell has more.
This week, Corey Pavin will tee it up in his 9th charity classic at the Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club. While golf is still a priority for the 1995 U.S. Open winner, he's also dabbled in acting. His latest role was in Happy Gilmore 2.
You can always shank one.
Oh, I had to pay a lot of money to get into it. No, it's I met Adam a long time ago, and we keep in touch a little bit. And a good friend of ours works for Netflix, and he kind of ran the show and made sure that I was involved in it as well.
More than 20 current and former stars of the PGA Tour made an appearance in Happy Gilmore 2. Pavin says it was a long day of filming the clubhouse scene, but it gave him time to brush up on his acting skills.
Yeah, it's fun. It's, a little awkward just because, we don't do that kind of thing very often. So you have to kind of try to become an actor, which is difficult. But, they do so many takes that you can't screw it up. So, eventually you kind of relax and you just say your lines and do it.
Happy Gilmore 2 is a hit on Netflix, and it's been a hit for golf as well. You get to know the players outside of the ropes.
These guys get to have a little fun with it and some humor behind it, because most times when they're on the golf course, they're very stoic. right? But the Happy Gilmore is anything but that. So I loved seeing it. I think it's great for the game of golf.
On Tuesday, we saw former champs Ken Tanagawa and Ken Duke try the Happy Gilmore swing. Pavin is now 65 and says, not a chance he's tried.
No, I'm too old to try that. I'm afraid to. I might break something.
Whoa!
A Little League tournament in New York got a little dramatic this past weekend. These 11-year-olds had to make a run for it when a dust devil suddenly whipped up. It spun between third base and home plate while everyone sprinted to get out of its path. It lasted about 30 seconds before the dust literally settled. Didn't ruffle this team, though. They went on to win the championship title.
Wow, looks like a tornado.
Yeah. Don't play team sports.
Yeah, exactly. Stay home.
This is really cute. 15 furry hopefuls padded onto a theater stage in Calgary this morning. They each have eyes and tails set on the same prize, playing Toto in The Wizard of Oz.
We're looking for a Toto who is excited to be in the show, excited to be a part of The Wizard of Oz, who is great around people, specifically a young girl who plays our Dorothy, because they really are a part of the company. They're a part of the ensemble.
The company is looking to cast 1 or 2 small dogs under 15 pounds to share the spotlight with Dorothy and her friends. Aww. The gig comes with a contract, a paycheck, and plenty of stage time. The perfect Toto needs to be calm, follow commands, and stay happy in the arms of an actor, even with singing, dancing, and bright lights all around. You know what? Lucy would be pretty good at that.
She's over 15
she's over 15 pounds.
Too heavy. I'll put her on a diet.
Okay. Mary, what do we have for tonight?
Some exciting news, Nafisa. Thomas Muller has arrived in Vancouver. There were massive crowds at YVR to welcome the Vancouver Whitecaps' newest stars. Soccer fans lined up at arrivals, waving flags and cheering as Muller walked through the doors after clearing customs. He's anticipated to make his Whitecaps debut versus Houston this weekend. We'll have more at 11:30.
Let it begin, Muller Mania. Thanks, Mary. Well, a retirement home in Victoria is going to great heights to help residents live life to the fullest. That includes organizing ziplining trips. In tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off, Adam has the story of an 82-year-old who faced her biggest fear with some adventurous seniors by her side.
Thank you. As Tony Garrett takes tentative steps towards the start of the zip line, she's filled with fear.
I'm afraid of heights.
A lifelong fear that's hindered Tony from experiencing the sort of things that made others so happy.
When my family went to Paris, I'm the one that stayed on the ground while the rest of them climbed the Eiffel Tower.
And Tony will never forget how it felt knowing her children were posing up there while she was waiting alone down here.
And I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it.
And then Tony, who's now 82, read about her retirement resident's upcoming zipline trip and saw pictures from last year's excursion featuring fellow resident Colleen Goosen.
And looking at Colleen's face was so inspiring.
It was a high-flying adventure that Colleen had kept secret from her family until she sent them evidence.
Grandma, what are you doing?
The almost 91-year-old says she was simply doing what you do when you intend to never act old.
I can add years on, but I don't plan to be old.
Which inspired Tony to plan and join Colleen all the way up here and face her fear.
It's a little overwhelming.
Tony says she was actually so overwhelmed, being on a platform as high as 45 meters, 150 feet above the ground, and barely being able to see across chasms that spanned it up to 300 meters, 1,000 feet. She was completely numb.
Like, I just had no idea what it was going to be like.
But after watching Colleen fly through the forest, Tony found the courage to do the same.
Like holding my breath and jumping into deep water.
But instead of being embraced by cooling liquid, Tony found herself being invigorated by rushing air.
This is fantastic.
And after she arrived safely, a burst of euphoria.
I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. It was really good. I loved it.
And if we can find pleasure in facing our fears, Tony says, we may just discover a whole new world of possibilities.
And I've been trying to think about what I can do short of skydiving.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Souk.
Okay, that looks like so much fun. Sign me up.
Inspiring ladies, too.
Good
You've
for
done
them.
that, haven't you?
I have. Yeah. And bungee jumping.
Yes, that's
on
next
the
on their list.
Yeah.
They're going to be bungee jumping before they go skydiving for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of the sky.
Yes, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot tonight. Look at this. Last night's smoky sunset in Tsawwassen. Thanks, Robert, for sending this one in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
CTV News continues online anytime. ctvnewsvancouver.ca. Stay up late with Mary at 11:30, or you can start your day with CTV Morning Live. And thank you, as always, for sharing part of your evening with us.